Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Kasia. Today we're going to be talking about the lunation and what's happening in September 2024. On the 3rd September we have the new moon, and in tropical astrology, the Western astrology, we accelerating between Virgo and Pisces. This is an axis of water and earth. The mutable axis, mutable water and mutable earth, and you can see that we have this opposition between Virgo, which often coincides with archetypal discernment, the goddess. Here we have the keyword of accuracy, and the opposing sign Pisces is about imagination, psychic abilities, spiritual approach versus this kind of reality real life approach. So the planets that rule these signs, Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which is associated with thinking, communication, being kind of able to connect the dots, and Virgos are very, very capable and apt to reorganize things, make things work better. They're very good at figuring out what's not working and how to make it work so that everybody else can benefit from it. Virgo is a sign of service, it's a sign of health as well. And Virgos are very often, the healers of the world, doctors, nurses, people who care for others, they dietitians, nutritionists also. Virgo is concerned with, the body, whereas Pisces is concerned with the spirit, with imagination, with the world of fantasy, of intuition, of gods. So here Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, or traditionally Jupiter used to rule Pisces, speaks about the depths of unconscious and things that are kind of hidden and can come up to the surface. So I'm going to change the camera, and I have a presentation, and we are going to be talking about two perspectives, two astrology systems in this video. So the new moon in the stars, in the real sky, falls in the stars of the Lion. So we are going to be also mentioning the real sky astrology. The full moon on September 18th falls in the stars of Pisces. In both cases, it's in the stars of Pisces, but also goes through the tropical sign of Pisces. So let's change the camera, let's look at the presentation, and hopefully you can find something important and inspiring there. We're going to be mentioning Sabian symbols as well, because I find it quite revealing when you start doing it regularly. Some of them repeat and you're like, let's connect the dots here. So I see you on the other side. Okay, guys, so September, we have the new moon on September 3rd. We have the full moon, which is also a lunar eclipse on 18th of September. And one more thing that I would like to mention here is that Pluto re-enters Capricorn. So right now Pluto is in the tropical sign of Aquarius, and it goes back to activate that last critical degree of Capricorn, 29 degrees Capricorn, on September 3rd, actually, where I am. But we can say from, September 1st, it's kind of moving back into Capricorn until November 20th. So from November 20th, Pluto stations direct and keeps moving into Aquarius, and it stays there. All right. So we're at the last stretch. All right. So the new moon is happening actually in true sidereal, in the real sky, in the stars of the Lion. So we had the Lion stars activated in August already. We were talking a lot about power, personal power, experiencing power plays. It's kind of still going on. And this time we have that combination, not between Cancer and Leo. We have the combination between Leo in the real sky and Virgo in tropical astrology. So there is this leadership and accuracy. And I thought, Virgo is about discernment. Virgo is about seeing what's not working and having the ability to know, connect the dots, rearrange the systems to make them work better. Leo is about heart. It's about following and acting and living in alignment with your heart. It's also very creative, self-expressive energy. So when we have these two together, I thought, like, because Leo is also about leaderships, and we know that the Regulus was activated quite a lot of times from August and in September as well. So discernment about our leaders. Don't believe everything you see in TV, on TV. It's encouraging us to express our own leadership skills and taking reign over our lives, over our creativity, over our abundance. Reevaluate maybe with Virgo being discerning, what does true abundance really mean to me? It's not just about money, right? So realize what you have, realize your privileged position, and reevaluate this and be grateful for it. Do what you love in service to others. Virgo is the zodiac sign that's connected to service. It's connected with medicine, with healing. So a lot of doctors, nurses, people who care for other people have strong Virgos in their charts. So when we have that leadership and Virgo, it might also mean be discerning about the leaders trying to overpower your health or trying to tell you what to do about your health, like generalize it. Everybody is different. We're learning also to discern what our bodies like when they feel well, when they feel abundant and wholesome. Remember your sense of power and walk your talk. It's about Leo and Virgo. It's like empowered communication, radical honesty, personal truth in service to humanity. Leo rules heart, exhaustion, inflammations, and Virgo rules small intestines, bowel, food assimilation, and nervous system. So these may be the areas in the body that during this new moon, some of you may feel. So when we look at the real sky, this is the midpoint method, again, from like Athene Chimenti. The new moon is always when sun and moon are in conjunction. So the moon kind of disappears in the brightness of the sun. And they are in the stars of Leo, as I mentioned, and they are in opposition to Saturn that's finishing. It's still in the constellation of Aquarius, but will be moving sooner or later into the stars of Pisces. Right now, it's in Aquarius and it's opposing that new moon. So when there is this creative expression, that blast, maybe what values you want to kind of express, I think your values, your personal values, have to be measured or will be kind of maybe not blocked, but there will be other side to the story, that your values versus other people's values versus humanity values versus society values. So personal expression versus societal expression. And I think this is encouraging us to use Saturn, that often means challenges, limits, or kind of establishment, that is maybe trying to push certain type of values onto you, whereas you are being asked to be discerning around your own values and how these values fit or don't fit the society, and what maybe needs to change in societal values, as Saturn can represent challenges and like this closed doors, like what doors maybe need to be open so we all experience more equality, more equal economic standards, and so on and so forth. How can we use our privileged position of not having bombs falling onto us and being able to talk about astrology right now to use this for the betterment of humanity? So either you can share your values, meaning, you can share your money, you can share your resources, you can share education, you can share information, you can share hope, you can share prayers, whatever suits you, because we also all different and everybody, responds to this differently. It has different gifts to give. We can share those values, those resources with others who may need it right now. So we also have Venus in conjunction with South Node. South Node is like gifts that we bring into this lifetime. North Node is more like a mission statement, our where we're stretching our comfort zones, what we came here to maybe establish or practice. Might not be easy, but like that's where we're going, you know. And the North Node is with Neptune. So might be still very unconscious for most of us, like in humanity, like where are we going? What's going on? We might all feel a little bit lost. But Venus and South Node might remind us. And I think, again, there is a divine feminine Virgo in the goddess Virgo, Venus and Virgo, you know, in both the goddess related energies, South Node in Virgo, like just remembrance of feminine principles and how they can be applied on a larger scale. And it's interesting that Mars is at the end of the stars of Taurus and it's squaring that North Node and Neptune. And when Mars is like wants to hold on to in Taurus or like make things happen just the way it wants, this North Node and Neptune, they kind of a little bit like elusive. So I think whatever we might want to really do on the spot, like we will have some challenges and shut doors in our face during this new moon, but what we need to fall onto is receptivity, our intuition, alignment with our hearts, and just keep going and keep opening with discernment, with imagination and intuition, but also with discernment and embodiment, opening those doors. This is how it looks in the real sky. This is the sun and moon in the constellation or stars of Leo. Here we have that Mars and Jupiter and Uranus still in the stars of Taurus, and so on and forth. I just wanted to show you the sun and moon as a new moon. And this is the tropical astrology. So sun and moon is in the tropical sign of Virgo. As you know, the difference between true sidereal and tropical, true sidereal, different sizes of constellations, tropical, splitting, eclipsing it in 12 equal signs. So here we have that Virgo energy in opposition to Saturn. We have Neptune and North Node squaring Mars. Mars is on 28 degrees Gemini, which is also my Mars. So I'm having a Mars return, happens every 2 years when you start a new cycle. And Mars is actually activating also the stars of Polaris and Betelgeuse in the constellation of Orion. So that's quite interesting because they're quite powerful stars. And this is squaring that Neptune, which I was talking about earlier. Chiron is in a very beautiful trine to Mercury. And that's why I was thinking, because Mercury rules Virgo, and in tropical astrology that happens in Virgo, that there is possibility of this wonderful healing and bringing our communication forward in a way that can evoke healing, that it is, you know, expressive in a way that we can all heal from it. So when we move to Sabian symbol for the new moon, Virgo 12, because that's based on tropical symbols, after the wedding, the groom snatches the veil away from his bride. Oh, I forgot to mention this important square of Saturn and Jupiter, but also Saturn and, like Mars is maybe not, but like Saturn and Jupiter are squaring as well. And Saturn is opposing that new moon. And what's fascinating about it, that Jupiter is in Gemini, Saturn is in Pisces. Pisces is the sick, like the unconscious. So like when Saturn closed doors to unconscious, Jupiter in Gemini wants to just like speak and expand the communication. So it's interesting that some secret, some truth, something that was maybe like held captive for a while is actually opening up now, and it will be possible after the wedding. The groom snatches the veil away from his bride. So he's unveiling something, right? Symbolically, that's some truth, some hidden thing, some maybe, something will be exposed for the consciousness for all of us. This symbol also speaks about penetrating power of the mind, unveiling long protected secrets, things coming out to the surface, masculine assuming a dynamic part in the polarity play. When I read it, being a woman, I thought just like the wording is weird, like snatches the veil away from his bride. It could also be like this bringing up feelings of violation or being exposed, something that's really the truths might be coming up, like we nearing this, elections in the States, and the convention of Democrats has just happened. Like secret motives might be revealed, okay, with this new moon, and going towards the full moon might be interesting, breaking also down walls that are keeping us from relating on a deep level, especially with this Venus and South Node being together. There might be some relational stuff that gets cleared up, or some old patterns that are coming to the surface that you have the opportunity to heal now or talk about it with this Mercury and Chiron trine. Marriage rituals, political, I thought as well, like who will be marrying whom, China, Russia, all these big players, so that's quite interesting symbol, I thought, for the new moon. The full moon is happening on 18th September. And it's both tropically and sidereally happening in the stars of Pisces and in the tropical sign of Pisces. Astrological realm is the lake. And here we have this full moon, Pisces versus Virgo sun. And here we have again, like the Mercury very close to the sun. We have this big opposition, and moon being with Neptune, and not far away from Saturn as well. In the real sky, you would see Saturn not far away from the moon. Neptune we won't be able to see with our real eyes, but it's right there with the moon. So we have again this discernment, Virgo, that accuracy, that ability to and need to serve and heal and make the world better, versus that dissolution, like the unconscious feelings that come up to the surface. This full moon can really expose a lot of hidden emotions, hidden motives. I really see it coming from that new moon onwards with the Sabian symbols there. We have Venus now squaring Pluto. So whatever past patterns, when in the new moon Venus was conjoining the South Node, very kind of karmic point, and whatever gifts we are able to bring to the world, this is now a challenge to check, again, do we have enough power to actually make it happen? I can see a lot of transitions in relationships. Again, power plays. How do we communicate? How do we do relationships? My values versus your values. How do we express ourselves? And Chiron is here in opposition to vague opposition to this Venus as well. So it's quite an interesting chart again, because Uranus is also trining Pluto. So there is again that huge power that can bring revolutionary changes. Mars is trining Saturn this time, and we have quite a lot of ability to, whatever truths get exposed, we can use them in empowered way to create revolutionary changes with knowledge and with awareness. So here is the sun, and we can see this is a constellation of Virgo, very large constellation. It's in opposition to, again, quite a large constellation of Pisces. And so it's right here, Mars has moved to Gemini. So Virgo, Gemini, and Pisces, they kind of creating a square, mutable square. We have Jupiter and Uranus in the stars of Taurus, and Moon with the Neptune. We can see it here, and Saturn a little bit further away. So tropically, we can see that the Moon, Neptune conjunction, and then Sun in opposition to that. So again, Sun exposing discernment in Virgo, being able to use your mind, brilliant mind and intelligence to dissect and recognize failed patterns or systems where there are secrets. And then Moon and Neptune, kind of very unconscious, lot of unconscious stuff, lots of secret stuff that can be revealed. Saturn might be still holding its paw, like wanting to have control over this, but I think the Sun is exposing a lot of these things. Mercury is actually in opposition to Saturn here, so can we really express it yet, or will we just feel these changes, that secrecy that's coming up on the unconscious level, and the door will be still closed for the new moon, for the full moon, with Saturn opposing Mercury. Mercury rules the Sun right now during this full moon because it's in Virgo, of course. So we'll see. Chiron is on 22 degrees Aries, and Mercury has moved from that beautiful trine here. And Chiron is in opposition to Venus now. So again, that relational stuff is evolving from that Venus-Pluto square, Venus with the South Node moving to Chiron in opposition to Venus. So a lot of kind of wounded egos might come up in relationships. All right, let's move to Sabian symbols. Pisces 26, because it's tropical 25 degrees plus, so we round it up. Watching the very thin moon crescent appearing at sunset, different people realize that the time has come to go ahead with their different projects. And again, new time dawning, new beginnings. We like nearing the end of Pisces, right? So in the zodiac, there will be like, we will be moving soon into Aries, emergence of new possibilities, new horizons appealing, realizing that we are all one people, but do things and respond to things differently. So learning to accept the differences between us. And what I was saying about like the health, you know, doing this whole, like everybody does this because it's a rule, like we all had to do vaccination, let's say, like for some people that's just not good. So there is this like discernment about it, like we all little bit different, we have different bodies, differently react to different medications, different things. So this diversification important, applying talents in other directions. So very practical during the full moon, like, you know, see if there's like, how can you diversify your money, your talents, where can you meet other people maybe than you meet usually, letting go of old and outworn, give away, share with people, separation, splitting up and feeling alone. That may be this relationship patterns. And Virgo is for the Sun, Virgo 26, because that was, you know, the Sun and Moon are in opposition. Moon is in Pisces, Sun is in Virgo, and it's a boy with the censer serves the priest near the altar. So this is interesting because we have this in Deinrugia, first stage of actual participation in the great ritual of planetary evolution, which we are really going through since 2020. We're in a constant, like really up, like rocket, like a speed of big changes and all these external, like outer planets changing signs. It's really fascinating to watch. Learning to practice in the presence of God, you know, that's just lingo that might be triggering to some people, but learn to practice your devotion to whatever your God is, okay? Ancient mysteries, ancient rituals that we can get maybe access into or really feel like aligning with them or choosing like our own rituals, altars, shrines, candle magic, working like magical workings, looking up to those in power because he serves the priest near the altar, right? So who is your priest? Who are your teachers? Could be a great time for work experience, apprenticeship. Also from the shadow perspective, feeling dominated by a spiritual hierarchy that maybe we're searching to change, not taking your place of authority or feeling like one isn't good enough, but also a lot of spiritual realizations. So I think that's quite interesting with the full moon. And then the Pluto retrogrades back to Capricorn. So in real sky, Pluto moves between Sagittarius and Capricorn in tropical zodiac, it moves back into the sign of Capricorn from September 3rd until November 20th, and then it moves into Aquarius and stays there for next whatever quite a couple of years, like closer to 10. And so I have to check. Sabian symbol for this 30 degrees Capricorn, because it activates 29 something degrees of Capricorn. The last degree of Capricorn is a secret meeting of men responsible for executive decisions in world affairs. And we had this symbol before. So this is very interesting because Pluto in Capricorn speaks about power, the systems. So there's again this meeting of men responsible for executive decisions in world affairs happening, Pluto activating that symbol for over like a year now, like 2023, 2024. This is important. So I'm wondering, what's going to happen with this. When I just check in Linda Hill's Sabian symbol and Oracle, Capricorn 30, it says sharing innermost secrets, confidential information. So again, this theme of like confidential stuff coming up, whistleblowing, masterly controlling things, big guys calling the shots, being too busy to see people of lesser importance in your life. That's for every one of us. See this diversification, open up, open your heart, open your eyes to other people, appreciate your privilege and use your privilege to share with others. Being too busy to see people, rationing time, governments and secrets, spies, private counsel, planning and plotting, having a say in things, doors, whispers, records of meetings. Maybe things will reveal itself. We'll see. It seems like a big month, this one. And the caution is like excluding others, exploiting people or situations, elitism, being controlled by those above, decisions being made behind the closed doors. And because it's Virgo Pisces, this has a lot to do with healing. So I'm thinking, watch your health stuff and some, whatever decisions are being made around our health, and taking that responsibility from us and forcing us to do things. So I'm curious if something of this will come up. Concealing the truth from others, cliques, committees, suspicions of motives. So this is a big symbol. So we will be dealing with this from September to end of November. So let's watch. My offerings, if you haven't had an astrology reading yet, I'm kind of doing still 2 readings, Spiral Astrology, which is the true sidereal, real sky astrology, and Tropical Astrology, which is the life purpose psychological take on you. This one is a bit more evolutionary. You can head over to my website, tarotmap.com. These astrology readings both are very amazing, in my opinion, and based on the feedback that I get, you can read all the reviews under the readings. I think this one is very kind of basic knowledge. Everybody should have one astrology reading, tropical astrology and evolutionary, to know what stars, what's purpose, what's your evolutionary purpose. It's like, more galactic, more star oriented, more real sky oriented. So if you would like to get in touch, you can visit me YouTube at Tarot Map, of course, Tarot Map in Instagram, info@tarotmap.com, my email, and my website, tarotmap.com. I'd love to read for you. Hit me up and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.